Okay, so are you ready to dig into a career that's, well, essential but kind of under the radar? We're talking tram controllers. You wanted the inside scoop on what it takes to land a job like this, and we're here to deliver. Think of this like your crash course in keeping those trams moving on schedule.
Yeah, it's a pretty fascinating world behind the scenes of public transit.
And to guide our deep dive, we're turning to RoleCatcher.
Oh, good choice. I mean, RoleCatcher, it's like having a career coach in your pocket. They've got everything from in-depth guides to interview practice tools.
Exactly, so no more mysteries, right? We're going to find out what these tram controllers actually do all day.
Right, and RoleCatcher gives us a really well-rounded view. It's not just like, here's what the job is, but it also shows you how you can move up, climb that career ladder.
Speaking of what the job is, I have to admit, my mental image of a tram controller was pretty simplistic. I pictured someone in a comfy chair, maybe with a cup of coffee, just watching those trams glide along.
Yeah, I can see that.
But this guide totally blew that image out of the water. It's way more involved. Like, it mentions responsibilities like assigning drivers, keeping meticulous records of distances, managing repairs.
It's true, and it's not just about the trams themselves. It's about orchestrating this whole network. Think about, like, managing driver schedules. Someone's got to make sure brakes are covered, right? And then juggling those unexpected delays, having the right trams in the right places, especially when it's, the morning rush. It's like this constant puzzle of logistics. But you're dealing with people, too.
It sounds like it takes a certain kind of person to handle that. And what about all this talk of meticulous record keeping in the guide? Are we talking spreadsheets for days?
Spreadsheets, logs, you name it. They track everything. But it's not just about some office worker with a rubber stamp, right? I mean, this data is actually gold. They use it to track each tram's mileage, so they know when to do preventative maintenance. Plus, it proves they're following all those safety regulations.
It's about accountability, too.
Exactly. And they can analyze that data, look for ways to make the whole system run more efficiently.
So my initial vision of the tram controller, relaxing, taking it easy, yeah, that's out the window.
Definitely not. It's a fast-paced environment. Things change on a dime. And you need to be able to think on your feet.
Make split-second decisions.
Absolutely. And stay calm under pressure. You've got to handle those unexpected situations, keep your cool.
Right, so you need that blend of being super organized, but also able to just roll with the punches when things get crazy.
Exactly. 1 minute you might be deep in a spreadsheet, and the next you're dealing with like a mechanical issue on a packed tram during rush hour.
Talk about high pressure.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of responsibility that comes with the role.
And the guy did mention that, right? Some of the downsides, like
Yeah.
sometimes you're working long hours, weekends, holidays,
Mhm.
and you never know what each day will bring. But on the flip side, they also talk about the job security, right? And the good salary potential.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And of course, the possibility of moving up, like we were talking about earlier, climbing that career ladder.
Absolutely. And RoleCatcher does a fantastic job of outlining that path. They break it down to 3 main stages. You start at the entry level, then you work your way up to junior tram controller, and then if you're ambitious, you can reach the peak senior tram controller. And of course, with each step up, you get more responsibility and usually a nice bump in pay.
So let's break down that career ladder a bit. What's it actually look like to go from entry level all the way up to senior tram controller?
Okay, so imagine this. You're fresh out of training, raring to go. At the entry level, you're basically like an apprentice.
Okay, so you're not throwing them into the deep end right away.
No, no, no. It's all about getting that solid foundation. So you're shadowing the more experienced controllers, learning the ropes, getting comfortable with all the systems, the protocols.
Right, getting a feel for things.
Exactly. And then as you gain experience, build up that confidence, you transition to a junior tram controller. And that's where you start, really flexing those decision-making muscles.
Okay, so what, like you're actually assigning trams?
Yeah, assigning trams, drivers to their routes, monitoring everything in real time. And you might even be the one coordinating with the maintenance crews if something pops up.
Wow, so you're really in the thick of it.
Right.
What about the senior tram controllers? What sets them apart?
Reaching that senior tram controller level, it's like earning your black belt in tram management,
Yeah.
They've got years of experience under their belt, a deep understanding of how everything works, every little detail, and they're not afraid to think outside the box.
You mentioned that the guide talked about some senior tram controllers even having master's degrees and multiple certifications.
Oh yeah, some of them. It's a continuous learning process.
Wow, that's dedication.
For sure. They might be like analyzing the tram schedules, looking for ways to make them even more efficient, tweak things here and there, or even brainstorming completely new ideas to, like, make the whole experience better for passengers.
So they're not just reacting to problems, they're trying to get ahead of them.
Exactly. And that probably ties into the whole innovation thing that the guide highlighted.
Right, like how do you stay ahead of the curve in terms of technology and all that?
Exactly. Think about all the ways tech is changing transportation these days. AI, real-time data. Heck, even the possibility of self-driving trams down the line. Senior tram controllers need to be ready for all that.
Wow. So they're not just managing the present, they're shaping the future of public transportation.
That's a great way to put it. They really are.
This is all fascinating, but let's shift gears a bit and talk about what it takes to actually land one of these jobs. I know you were impressed with RoleCatcher's interview prep stuff.
Oh, man, it's seriously impressive. They have this whole section dedicated to acing those interviews.
Which is huge, because it's one thing to know the job description,
Right.
but to actually, like, hear the kinds of questions they might throw at you.
It gets you in the zone.
Yeah. How do you handle a tram delay?
Yeah.
How do you prioritize passenger safety? Like, it makes it real.
Exactly. But here's where it gets even cooler. They don't just give you the questions. They actually offer AI-powered feedback. You can record yourself answering practice questions, and the AI analyzes your performance.
Oh, wow. That's next level.
Right. I mean, reading sample questions is one thing, but actually practicing out loud, maybe even seeing yourself on camera, that's huge.
And then to have the AI give you feedback on your pacing, your clarity, all that,
Yeah.
that could be a game changer.
Totally. It's like having a personal coach in your back pocket, giving you that edge to really nail that interview and land the job.
This whole AI feedback thing is wild. It makes you wonder, like, what's next? How else is tech going to change how we get ready for jobs in the future?
Oh, it's already happening. Think about virtual reality. I mean, imagine learning the ropes of a tram network, but you're in a VR simulation.
Well, like training in a whole other world.
Exactly. No more those, like, clunky training manuals. You can get hands-on experience before you even set foot in the real control room.
That's amazing. But it seems like no matter how much tech comes into play, those core skills of a tram controller, that organization, quick thinking, staying calm under pressure, those will always be important, right?
No, absolutely. But, I mean, tech can help, but it's those human skills that really make the difference.
It's like you said earlier, it's about being that orchestra conductor,
Huh.
not just reacting to dots on a screen.
Mhm.
So for anyone listening who's thinking, hey, maybe this tram controller thing is for me, what would you say are the key takeaways?
Well, first off, it's way more dynamic and challenging than people realize. You're not just controlling trams, you're managing people, juggling resources, making those split-second decisions that impact, thousands of commuters.
So you're keeping a whole city moving, basically.
Exactly. It's high stakes, but it's also incredibly rewarding. And like we talked about, there's room to grow in this field, both in terms of responsibility and salary. Plus, there's that satisfaction of knowing you're playing a vital role in, well, in keeping things running smoothly.
And let's not forget, you get to be on the cutting edge of innovation as tech transforms the whole transportation landscape.
For sure. From optimizing routes to, who knows, maybe managing fleets of self-driving trams someday. It's an exciting field to be a part of.
It really sounds like it. So next time you're on a tram, just, take a second to think about all the work that goes on behind the scenes to get you where you need to go.
Yeah, give a little mental shout out to those skilled professionals who keep those trams running on time. And, most importantly, make sure everyone gets to their destinations safely.
Absolutely. It's a career that deserves a big round of applause. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of tram controllers. It's been a fascinating ride.
It really has. Until next time.